Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shelly and today we're going to do a little bit of an experiment. I've got a drugstore full face of, these are all Wet n Wild products, and I think it's been a minute since I've used, really kind of fallen in love with Wet n Wild products. I feel like there was some not too long ago, like these little 5-pack of eyeshadows. Actually really liked them. I just happen to have some handy here. But this is, so I've got some new products, things that I haven't ever tried before. I originally saw that they had released a kit, like a whole collection, I guess is what it would be, at maybe Target. And I haven't been to Target in a while for whatever reason. I haven't really gone anywhere in a while now that I think about it, aside from, you know, maybe taking my son to school. I heard that they had this new collection. I'm like, well, that's really pretty, might be cute for spring. And then I went to their website and they didn't have it, but they had all kinds of other things. So I took advantage of a sale. I think they have enough for pretty much a whole face, or most of it. So why not? Why not play with some Wet n Wild right now? There's all of these little sample foundations that say not for resale on them. So this might have been like a gift with purchase, but there is a ridiculously large amount of shades in here. A lot of them say photo focus foundation. I've tried photo focus foundations before. I might even have one, but that's not what I originally went to buy when I was looking at all this other stuff. So we'll come back to these. I just wanted to note that they gave me a lot to try. I did pick up a Wet n Wild Impossible primer base. I don't know what makes it impossible, but let's try it. I do have some skincare on, and I do normally wear primers. So let's see what this one looks like. This is almost like a little bit like a silicone-y type. Reminds me of a couple other primers that we've had, like Smashbox photo, what is it called? The Smashbox one? I'm just gonna tap it in to my skin because I think that's how these ones perform a little bit better. Okay, we'll just sort of rub it in a little bit and see if it doesn't blur. It's non-tinted. Why don't we'll just use all of this and see if it makes a difference. Not that I would know with the foundation because I'm not, you know, I don't have any experience with the foundation either, but so I tapped it onto the kind of like the worst part of my texture, sort of pressed it in, and then I'm kind of spreading it on the rest of my face. And I don't know if that was the right thing to do or not. I guess we'll find out. I'm gonna check a little closer mirror. I should bring you guys in a little bit, huh? I feel very washed out right now. So as far as blurring, maybe a little bit. My skin feels a little tacky, and we'll just leave it at that. Okay. I also picked up primer serum. I probably should have put this one on first, huh? The primer serum before the Impossible primer base. So the Impossible primer base says it's the one silicone-free primer that does it all. The one silicone-free primer that does it all. Okay. So the primer serum that I got, this one's the one in Coco. It's called In Love with Coco. And it looks like it's got a little bit of shimmer to it, but I'm just gonna keep this on the outside of my face. It does smell like faux cocoa scented, chocolate scented. You know what I mean by like, it's like not a real chocolate scent. It's like something pretending to be chocolate. I'm gonna put a little bit of this on the back of my hand because I want to see how it does without me using the other primer on. This will give me kind of a good indication of how it feels. It's a very thin serum type product and the chocolate scent is very strong. That might have been a fail on my part. That might have been not the right thing to do. Concealer. Again, hit and miss with the shades. Never know really what you're gonna get. We're just gonna open this stuff as we go. So this one is in shade, I probably just ripped off the shade name, right? Yeah, another gross tactical error on my behalf. I don't know which shade this is. This one, it looks like 841B light medium. We'll see. We'll see if light medium works for me right now. I'm putting this kind of in the darkest parts, kind of strategically bringing in here a little sun damage right there. Magical eye lift right there. Okay, and I did not bring in a sponge. I'm gonna use this brush to distribute. Right, what does it say about this? It says concealer corrector. Now when I think of a corrector, I'm probably thinking more of something that's going to be peach or yellow or green, or, you know, one of those kind of correcting type things. So I'm not really sure what they mean by concealer corrector. I think I was wondering if it was going to be more peach shaded. I'm gonna go back in with a little bit more, and this time I'm going to pat it in my finger. I should probably look at getting trough fillers in here, eye trough teardrop trough, or whatever they call it, fillers. But in the meantime, that's what we have makeup for. Okay, I don't hate that as a concealer. I mean, I think the color was actually fine. We'll run with it. We'll see how it goes. Okay, in addition to all the little samples of foundations that I got, I also picked up their Fondue stick foundation. I guess I could have read the English side. This is a stick foundation, photo focus again, 855B vanilla beige. Let's just see. Okay, it's a thick stick. You know, one of the, there's a joke in there, I'm sure. One of the stick foundations that I love probably the most is going to be the one from Lancome. That's probably my favorite of all stick foundation. But I'm just going to use the same brush I used. I have more brushes. If you've seen my videos before, you know. A lot of them are being washed right now. I figured this would be a good time to film, but the brushes aren't dry yet, or they're still waiting to be washed. That will get done here sooner than later. But in the meantime, this seems to be doing the job. And as far as the shade goes, it's not a horrible shade. It's probably a little light, maybe even a little yellow for me. More than anything, I kind of wanted to see how the consistency felt on my mature, dry-ish, at least this time of year, definitely dry. I'm just gonna run that brush over my eyelids too, because I don't think I have an eyelid primer. I do really like their eyelid primer. I have one here, but I just didn't pick up a new one, mainly because I already have one. Okay, I'm a little Casper right now. It's maybe even a little splotchy looking. Let's just see what else we have, and we'll just kind of go from there. As far as the consistency go, I feel like if you're a full coverage kind of person, this might work for you. I tend to err on the side of like serum foundations, mainly because I think it works better with my aging texture. This is one I think, you know, I would actually use that stick foundation as a concealer if I needed to, just in a pinch, you know, like if I was going to do a serum foundation, but then I had some spots or something that I needed to cover up. And that's what I would do. I feel so washed out in this. We got to fix this flat blank canvas right now. Okay, I picked up a In Love with Coco contour. It says face palette. It's just called In Love with Coco. There was a couple different sets that they released all at the same time. There was like Coco, and then there was Cherry, and then there was something else. And I think that the Coco palette was like the most interesting to me, but it was sold out on their website, so I can't speak to that. But if the other palette that I did get is the same quality, then we'll know. Okay, so that's the Coco palette. Let's just, and it smells like chocolate. This one seems like it smells a little bit more like hot cocoa versus the serum, which just smelled like fake cocoa. But we'll try. We'll try this as a little bit of a contoury type thing. You know what? It's not bad. It's pretty pigmented, which is fine. I probably went in with too much. Let's see if we can match it up on this side. Maybe slightly more red for me, but it's not, the good thing is it's not giving me a gray cast. I would call this more of a bronzer than a contour. So I am using it kind of as both. I am bringing it higher up on my cheeks and kind of using it to sort of contour a little bit, but just not like full-on hollows and whatever else. We're just going to do the whole layering and blush stuff. Might as well throw a little bit down here. Can't give ourselves an instant diet. At least I'm not quite so Casper-y like I was here a second ago. Okay, and the other side is this side is a highlighter. Do I dare? I gotta wash brushes anyway, might as well. All right, let's throw a little of this up here and see. Yeah, that's okay. I'm not like hugely highlighter type person. Like I've never been somebody where, oh, you need to see my highlighter from space. That's not really it's not really my jam, but it's a pretty highlighter. Okay, I'll give it that. And it smells a little bit better than the serum. Good thing. The eyeshadow palette, I think, is kind of what I wanted to get into. What else do we have here? We have brows. We have another must-haves. Let's take a look at the eyeshadow palette. So this is the one that I got. It says My Cherry Amour, and it is a small 9-pan palette. Again, all this stuff is Wet n Wild. So I know that there were some people, a couple months ago, I think people started seeing this in stores. The pan sizes are a little bit small, but that's not bad for me. Somebody who has a lot of palettes, if you also have a lot of palettes, maybe you don't need a ton of eyeshadows. I'm gonna scoot you in. So if you're someone like me that has a lot of palettes, perhaps you don't need huge pans of eyeshadow. Maybe you're just fine with the smaller ones, especially if you're traveling, or you know, if this is just kind of like a backup, or you're maybe just dabbling. Maybe you use a palette for a season, 3 months, 5 months maybe, and that's all you need it for. Okay, I think I'm gonna play with a bunch of colors here. I'm gonna take this sort of peachy apricot color at first. And I'm gonna have that up on the top as sort of my transition shade. That's always the first shade. Once I get that on, I feel like my eyes are so much better. And I did not do an eyelid primer. I do know that the Wet n Wild eyelid primer that I've used before, I actually like. It's a translucent one. It's not going to give you any color or whatever else, but I don't really have any problems with my eyeshadows upon using it. Now, I can say that a little goes a long way, and I would wait for it to dry down before applying eyeshadows, because then you might get some patchiness or skippiness. Look at me talking like I know what I'm talking about. Sorry, you guys. You guys know more than I do on this stuff. Okay, so that shade is actually really pretty. I think I'm going to take this sort of more neutral color here next, and I just put it right on the tip of the brush because I wanted to sort of bring it in and give myself a little bit of a crease, give my eyes some depth. So how are you guys doing? Everybody feeling okay? This is kind of like a fun melon color, so I figured I would put that over kind of the middle part of my lid here. And it's relatively pigmented. I've had to go in 3 times now, but it's not patchy, so I guess that's good. The first shades were pretty subtle, but again, not patchy, which is, I consider that a big win. I've tried a palette recently that was so horribly patchy that I am not going to be using it again. That's kind of fun. Yeah, kind of a, so this color definitely is giving me ColourPop vibes, but it's also giving me Morphe's 9-pan, the one with the melon, like the peach colored one. It kind of reminds me of that too. It just doesn't have the green. This is actually a better curated palette in my opinion. I'm gonna go in with this darker burgundy out here, and I am cleaning off my brush with a Sigma color switch in between just to kind of take off any, so I don't have as much, my husband would call it cross contamination, but I refer to it as just sort of, you know, extra pigment that would blend or pick up that maybe you don't necessarily need. And all of these shades so far that I've used have all been mattes, and I am throwing this on very quickly because, you know, we have more products to look at. And I'm only doing one look with this palette because I'm doing a whole face full of new products, right? All right, that's kind of fun with the burgundy and the melon color, but it is feeling very almost rabbit-like. Let's take, okay, I have 2 shimmers that are really beautiful, but they're both pretty dark. There's this one that's more of like a raspberry color, and then there's this one which is definitely more purpley. This is actually like a duochrome, so it looks white in the viewfinder right now, but when I look at it, it's almost like a fuchsia. We're gonna use that one. Might as well do the duochrome. It's kind of like a gold now. It's, yeah, it's picking up. Okay. We got it. Okay, that's actually really pretty with the coral or the melon color. I'm calling it melon, but it's like a coral color. It's actually very pretty with that. And I do have fat fingers, so I do get a little transfer underneath my lower lash line, and that's, you know, because of my fingers, not because of the eyeshadow. That's kind of fun. I mean, these are fun colors. I think I need to like darken this up a little bit. I'm gonna take this darkest shade in here, which is another matte. So I have like 3 shimmers, and then the rest are mattes. So this is a good combination for me. Personally, I'm down with this as a combination of mattes and shimmers. Taking a little bit of here. I did not get a new eyeliner, I don't believe. Oh yeah, I did. Probably don't even need to put this on here, but we're just using it to darken it up, further define the eyes a little bit. And I can't leave well enough. I have to go kind of smoky because that's what I do. Should I, you know what? I'm gonna take this a little bit more into almost like a C formation, right up into where I'd want that crease to be. Yeah, just kind of makes it a little bit more dramatic if you need a drama. I'd like to say this is a drama-free zone, but the way I do eyeshadow, sometimes not so much. I am gonna take the lightest shade in here, which is a matte, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I do like to take mattes into my inner corner sometimes. I think it almost could be younger looking with ladies of a certain age. I hope I don't want to be offensive to anybody, but sometimes a super shimmery one can feel a little dated, even though it might be trendy. I think I've been doing a lot more mattes in my inner corner. And actually that's a good kind of bone shade because it is covering up some discoloration on my eyelids too. So that's good to know as far as like pigmentation goes. So yeah, this is kind of a fun, this is a different look for me, but this is kind of a fun palette. I'm glad I have it. Sorry. Might as well go into the blush because there is a blush in here too. This is called Passion Session. I think this is from a different collection though. I just started adding to cart, you guys. Drugstore. I think this whole box was maybe like 60 bucks. I don't think anything was more than $6.99, and that was for a kit that had a lot of different products in it. Most of these things were $5 a piece. I think they had a $5 sale. That's what I got suckered into, was the $5 sale. Okay, so the blush in here is a little bit more corally, orangey than I have going on with the eyes. But oh yeah, That's more orange than I think I was expecting. Super pigmented though. Okay. So if you like orange blush, then this is the blush for you. Wow. I went way overboard on that. We are gonna have to tone that down. I look like I've been beat here. You know, when those color runs where you get doused with colors? It's kind of what I'm feeling like right now. I don't know that I love that blush. I don't know that I love that blush for me. I don't know if it's the right tone. I think it's maybe a little too out there for me. We're gonna have to fix that one a little bit. Do I have a powder? I didn't buy a new Wet n Wild powder, but I do have these 3 kits. Might as well look at these. One of them is called Must Have Eyes, and it looks like it's got an eyelash curler, one of their big Papa mascaras, which was not my favorite in the past, and I think 2 eyeliners. Then there is a must-have palette, which has one of their Color Icon 10-pan palettes and 3 eyeshadow brushes. I did not have this palette. I probably could have used it today. It looks like a cool tone palette. I'm super excited to play with this one because I do like their little 5-pan eyeshadows. And then I have a must-have brows kit, which has Brow-cessive brow shaping gel and a brow pencil. Maybe even 2 brow pencils. Maybe it just has 1. Let's open this up. We'll try this one first and then we'll go into the other stuff. We'll try to fix this. Oh yeah, so we've got 2 brow pencils and a brow gel. Are they the same color? I don't remember if it gave me a choice here. Brow shaping gel. It doesn't say that it has a color. And then I've got a Brow-cessive pencil, dark brown and dark brown. So we've got 2, what appears to be 2 of the same kind. Pencil with a spoolie on one end, and it feels like it has been a long time since I've done eyebrows with an actual eyebrow pencil. Talk about old school. I think the micro brows I've really been enjoying, and then, you know, sometimes the ones that are like more tear shaped. Those are probably my favorite, like, eyebrow type product. Didn't really get into soap brows. Not gonna get into soap brows. Haven't ever had my brows tattooed, and luckily I didn't do too much damage with the 90s over plucking. But as far as like filling them in, I think the color's fine. It's maybe a little bit thicker, waxy than I'm used to. So I don't know that this is like, you know, my favorite eyebrow pencil ever. The spoolie's a little bit bigger. It's almost like a mascara spoolie. But as far as doable brows, yeah, I'd leave my house with brows like this. Yeah, that's okay. We got it. Let's use the brow gel. Let's see what this looks like. I probably should do powder first because I'm going to probably powder my face to try to do things down a little bit. This is gel, and I don't always take the time to do eyebrow gel. I probably should, but I guess, you know, do you ever look at people whose brows are fine and go, oh, I really wish you would have used all these products? I think the time when you start getting critical of other people's makeup and their stuff like that is when it's like horrible, like they're all like this, you know? Then maybe we would start to have questions about brows. But if they're just like normal brows, you're gonna be like, oh, you really need to have brow gel on. Okay, so cute little 3-piece kit. I gotta be honest, I don't always use eyelash curlers, but we are going to today. It feels very firm, not the most expensive feeling eyelash curler, but it seems to be doing the job. I think once I get it kind of going a little bit, it feels like it's doing what it needs to be doing. Oh yeah, it definitely curled them. You probably can't see them, but it definitely curled them. And this actually does only have 1. I thought it had 2, but it only has 1 eyeliner. This one happens to be in black. It is a twist up, like automatic mechanical one, which is probably my favorite kind. I don't feel like this is as precise. I think that ended up being a little bit thicker than I wanted it to be, but it's not a horrible eyeliner. You know, as far as an automatic pencil type stuff, I mean, it does go on. I'm gonna draw a little of it down here to work it into my lash line. Yeah, it's not horrible. I will use that again. Okay. Now, I tried the Big Papa mascara before and I didn't really care for it. It doesn't smell bad. It's not like overly, it's a little petrol-y, but not horrible. So now that I've curled my lashes and then of course forgotten about them, let's see what this looks like. I did have some other mascara on earlier and I used micellar water to take it off. So hopefully I got most of the other stuff off. And okay, so this mascara is not horrible. I feel like you have a lot of product on the wand and it is like an hourglass shaped wand. So I think you have the ability to get super clumpy, which is probably the reason why I'm going over it and over and over again, you know, trying to make sure I don't have any clumps. On the wand itself, it feels like the mascara is just caked on there. May not matter to you, but I don't want to feel like I'm using a spatula to get the mascara on. But I'm feeling like this is better than maybe like the e.l.f. Lash Out Loud mascara. I didn't care for that at all. So all said and done for a drugstore mascara, yeah, it's okay. I think if I were at a drugstore and I was grabbing a drugstore mascara, this might be like 5th on the list of mascaras that I would try for first. I think I would try to go for an Essence Lash Princess would be my first choice. Maybe even the Flower Beauty Warrior Princess. That might be more of my second one. Maybe the Maybelline Sky High or the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. I would probably reach for those before reaching for this, but all said and done, it's not a bad mascara. It's not complete junk. Okay, the little extra transfer that I have under my eyes from the eyeshadow, the sparkly eyeshadow, is driving me nuts. I gotta have to clean that up a little bit here. And the glitter wants to cause me grief. Eyes are looking pretty good. Cheeks are still driving me crazy. What else do we have in here? We have a lip kit. So this looks like it has a Coco, In Love with Coco, lip liner and a lip gloss. Mixing our cocos and our cherries today. Ooh, chocolate covered cherries. Do you guys like chocolate covered cherries? Like, what are they, Queen Anne cherries? Is that what they're called? So let's just try this brown lip liner. I start feeling like Eminem's ex-wife, or if it works for us. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? It's very 90s. I feel like that lip liner is very 90s. Okay, let's try the gloss. This doesn't look like it has a whole lot of color, so... Oh, yep, and we have that same chocolatey scent here. So I'm gonna use the little applicator to kind of buff in the lip liner and soften it a little bit. Let's try to. Okay, lip gloss, as far as lip gloss goes, it says Brilliant, and it just says lip gloss. Lip kit includes lip gloss and a lip pencil. Pretty descriptive. Okay, so that eyeliner or that mascara transferred underneath my eyes. Let me put some face powder on, change my battery, and I will be right back. Okay, you guys, I am back. I dusted the holy crap out of my face with the RCMA translucent powder. I'm convinced that stuff saves everything, and you get this ginormous container for not very much monies at all. I think I got mine from Beauty Bay, one of my Beauty Bay hauls, my first one ever actually, and I absolutely love it. That saved this look for me because that blush was too much. Now that I have the whole thing on, that eyeshadow, I'm really, really excited about. I think Wet n Wild is killing it with the eyeshadows these days. That actually I think is really, really lovely. The eyeliner worked out pretty well. The mascara is, you know, it's fine. I did get their In Love with Coco setting spray. They have a coconut one that I don't mind at all. I think I've tried their rose one. I've tried their cucumber one. Sometimes I think, if I recall, the spray can be a little aggressive. So let's see. I don't know why all this cocoa stuff was appealing to me. Maybe I was hormonal and I just needed chocolate in my life. Let's see. Okay. From a distance, the spray is not too bad. But I do feel like my pants are wet now where it's traveled down. That's kind of funny. Okay, all in all, the makeup look is fine. Let's kind of do like a quick refresh of what it is here I tried. The Serum Primer, I'm gonna have to try this in the right order because I went over the top of it with that other primer, which we'll use this in the right order next time. The In Love with Coco. I didn't know that I cared for the smell of it because I almost feel like this type of serum stuff should be a little bit more skincare-like. I don't know that the chocolate is really the scent I should have gone for, but we have it, so we'll use it a few more times and see. I think that the consistency of it, the formula of it actually feels perfectly fine. The Impossible Primer, yeah, I feel like it actually did a pretty good job of kind of minimizing some pores, so that's kind of exciting. I'll use that again. The bronzer palette, okay, yeah, I think once I looked at in the camera up close with the highlighter, it was too much. This blush, didn't care for the blush at all. It's not the right shade for me. The eyeshadow palette, I will absolutely use again. I actually really like the way this look turned out, and I didn't know where I was expecting it. I think using that darker shadow on the outside really tied it in for me. The lip liner is cute. Yeah, I'll use this. I'll use the lip gloss too. I don't mind cocoa scented lip gloss. For the eyelash curler, I don't think it made a huge difference to me, but maybe I waited too long before I put the mascara on. The eyeliner I used, I liked it. It wasn't the creamiest. It wasn't the most opaque black. It was just a perfectly fine automatic liner. the big Papa Mascara. It's okay, you know, like I said, it's probably gonna be, you know, 4th or 5th on my list if I'm at a drugstore and I'm desperately in need. The eyebrow pencil was fine. There's nothing about this that wowed me. The spoolie was a little bit bigger than I've been used to lately, which is fine, neither here nor there. The brow pencil itself seemed a little dry and maybe too waxy for me. The brow gel, yeah, it's fine. It doesn't even feel, I can tell it's in there, but it doesn't feel too crispy, which is good because I don't want to like scratch my eyebrow and then have flakes. That would be not good at all. I'm not doing these in the right order. The foundation stick, I think it's fine, especially after I use the bronzer and kind of warmed up my skin tone. I can get by with this shade. Again, this one was Vanilla Beige, I guess is the shade on that one. The setting spray, it's fine. It's again a little aggressive. I'll be curious to play with these shades and see if I can actually find a good shade match. Is that everything? Oh, and the concealer. The concealer, I feel like I need more because I'm really dark under here. I might maybe need to go with a lighter concealer than the one that I actually got. Okay, now that I've, you know, layered on top of the powder and the setting spray, it's maybe working a little bit better for me. It's very thick. It feels like a thicker formula. You don't get a bunch out on this doe foot applicator because it's like one of those micro doe foot applicators. And I actually kind of prefer that because then you're not end up with like a huge amount of concealer on your face and then wondering what the hell to do with it. That's it. That's it for my little Wet n Wild haul. I've got some good things that'll kind of work into the rotation. Again, that eyeshadow palette turned out way better than I thought it was going to. I've been impressed with Wet n Wild eyeshadow palettes, you guys. All right, that's it for today's video. Thank God for setting powder and mascara because that always makes a big difference for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think of Wet n Wild products. Is there a real sleeper that that comes highly recommended? I wish I would have been able to get the Coco eyeshadow palette, but I am not upset with this one. Maybe I'll see if I can find it. Maybe I will venture into a store and then, you know, grab one from there. They just didn't happen to have one online when I looked, so I'll keep my eyes out for it and let you guys know if I pick it up. I have one other eyeshadow palette to play with though. This one is the Color Icon. It seems all very cool toned. This could either be a fail or a real score. I'll let you guys know. Come back and we'll talk about that later on too. Yeah, I hope you guys stick around. I hope you guys consider subscribing. I bought all this with my own money. Nothing comes to me in PR. If you guys want me to come back and try to do more looks with that little 9-pan palette, let me know. I'm up for a challenge. Hope you guys are doing really well, and until my next video, bye for now.